Hey you guys, Katsumi here. Episode 4. Not bad. So far, so good. We got some things to discuss. But I don't believe we have a book. Oh no! No book to discuss? Oh, whatever shall we do? Oh, jeez and rice, Lex. No, we don't seem to have a book. But we do have a comic we can discuss. Which one? GrimmsFairyTale Steampunk. Yes! Woohoo! One of my favorite series! For those that don't know, Zenescope is a company that does the GrimmSfairyTale comics, a whole universe of characters that everyone grew up with, but more geared towards the original stories and then twisted them. The art is great, and is not for kids. I don't care you think comics in general are for kids. These are not. There's a lot of visual teases in this. Boobs, legs, and hot ladies that can kick your ass. But we'll save that for last. Let's get to the rest of this episode's topics. So, are we discussing what has recently happened during this month? We're not going into too much into it. We know about January 6th. It's absolutely horrid. The early half of this month definitely had the "what the fuck is wrong with you" days. Days! Not moments, days! The hell is wrong with people? Anyway, the good news is the new president. This universe's country has its first lady vice president, start of progress, and hopefully things start to get better. 'Cause I'm sure all these humans, no matter which side of it you're on, is mentally tired and could use a break. A moment to breathe. I think everyone could use that. True. So is that all the politics we're discussing? Yes. Okay, so now that we got past that, what are we discussing today? The movies and shows Disney announced during the end of last year. There's so much to watch. Because of that, we cannot go over everything. So let's cut it down to this. What is everyone looking forward to the most? Let's keep it to a max of 2. What? But that's so hard. There's not enough time in these episodes to really discuss each and every show and movie. Fine. Can I start? Go for it. Well, WandaVision is definitely one. The possibilities of why it looks like it's taking place during the era of Bewitched and I Dream of Jeannie, and how much of this is an illusion. But moving on, WandaVision, and I'm so stuck between Raya and the Last Dragon and Loki. Technically, I'm looking forward to all the Marvel, Star Wars, Raya, and also Turning Red. Wait, you're not excited about Willow? You mean the remake? Both intrigued and grumpy about how they remade it. Lex, it's not a remake. Not as a movie. They're turning it into a series. Wait, so they're not gonna take what was already good about it, throw it into a meat grinder, and come out with a, look, it's the movie you loved, right? Right? Kind of shit? I guess. I don't know, Lexi, but I'm assuming it's going to go into more detail and expand it a little. I believe you have my interest. So wait, does the creator know? It's one of those movies that the creator would never want remade or reimagined. If they didn't, they do now. And since they're not screaming of horror, that must be okay with it. Until we watch it anyway. So, moving on. Sugar, what are you looking forward to? What If and She-Hulk. Really? What If is all the possibilities of what if blank. Showing you the answers to what if blank did blank. That leaves so many possibilities of what could happen when they go off the main timeline of what actually happens and shows us multiple alternate realities.
Like, what if ours and Katsumi's dad never broke up? The possibilities of what could have happened. It fascinates me.
Wow, okay. And She-Hulk?
She's a Hulk still with her mind, in the comics, and a lawyer. She could literally kick ass in the court and in the streets. I want to see what Marvel does with her in the movieverse.
Yay! We can both geek out when we see it. Okay, Katsumi, your turn. Right, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, and Children of Blood and Bone. Doctor Strange, not surprised. Children of Bone and Blood? Have you read it yet? Not yet. I'm working on it. But I love what it's about, and what inspired the author to write it is deep and relevant to this universe nowadays. I want to see what they will do with this story, and with that also affect others enough to want to read it too.
Maybe during this year, that can be one of the books we read and review.
I'll ask the creator to add that one to the list. And with that said, I think it's time to move on to this month's read. GrimmsFairyTale comic, Steampunk. Now, if you've read any of Zenescope GrimmsFairyTale comics, you have a decent idea of the art and how not kid-friendly they are. This isn't much different, except taking place in a more Wild West setting in steampunk. Basically, Cinderella, Robin Hood, and Alice are outlaws that take jobs. This one was to get cargo that contains ether. We also got Captain Hook, captain of the airship they were robbing. He had his hand chopped off by Cinderella, and then was saved by Liesl Van Helsing and sheriff of one of the districts, which then later Captain gets asked to join Helsing along with Red. Guessing Little Red Riding Hood? We also seen the Queen, making a deal with Robin Hood to do business with Snow White, as we also see that the Queen had the sheriff's wife, Dorothy, kidnapped. They also show a bit of how Cinderella joins up with Robin and Alice. Of course, there's a lot more, and because we got to read the Kindle version, there's also Steampunk Alice in Wonderland, which takes place in Victorian era, but with Alice as an inventor. Now, what did you guys think? I love the art style. I love how badass Alice, Robin, and Cinderella is. I mean, Robin is basically the leader. Cinderella is mute. And Alice grows plants. You can figure out what I mean by that. How Captain Hook got his hook, which looks awesome. And his ship. I love the story, even though it doesn't seem like it continues on after. As for the Alice in Wonderland steampunk one, it was okay. It's different than the usual retelling. It's definitely better than the blander than white bread Alice in the live action movies.
I do agree with Lexis that Steampunk Alice in Wonderland is a far better Alice. I do have to say though, I liked Steampunk Alice more than Grimm's Steampunk story. Don't get me wrong, it's creative how they did the characters in this and the story. Art is good, like usual, but there was maybe a small panel or two where the art is a little off. And I'm sorry, but was it necessary for the Queen's servants to be rubbing her from hand to foot in this? I honestly don't think that, and having Robin and Cinderella in bikinis being rubbed was necessary. But I suppose they need some eye candy, since their comics tend to have that. Steampunk's Alice in Wonderland, on the other hand, did not have fan service. Alice is an inventor and doesn't really take lip. The designs for the characters are also interesting, and it was short. It didn't stop to a crawl for much exposition. So there you go.
As for me, the art was good, The stories were good, but didn't really pull me in. The creative ideas in this are great though. I love the portrayal of Robin, Alice, and Cinderella. I agree with Sugar though. The fan service was unnecessary. But I guess since it led into bringing Snow White into this and a slight filler for Captain, Van Helsing, and company to barge in was necessary. Who am I to argue? As for Alice in Wonderland in this story, it was fine. My more favorite parts was how badass the Hatter was. Actually getting to see the king in this. Like the only time you see the king in any retelling of Alice in Wonderland is in the cartoon. Not even the live action show from the 90s, Alice in Wonderland. Now who remembers that? And before I'm asked, Lexis and Sugar's father would have that show play for us while he worked on the weekends. So there you go. But anyway, to see the king in this, and not just weak to the queen, is awesome to see. If you like the GrimmsFairyTale comics, it's worth reading. Just understand, it's not for kids. Repeat, not for kids. With that said, I believe we have gotten a book suggestion recently. I have to ask the creator about it. Cool! I hope it's romance.
No.
Aw, why not? Next month is the month of love.
'Cause your definition of a romance novel is one of those with a muscled guy without a shirt and a woman only wearing a sheet on the cover with a cheesy sensual title. No thank you.
Well, pooh. With that said, I hope for all of you mortals things start to get better. Lexis, Sugar, anything you two want to say before we end this episode?
Be safe. Try to take the time to take care of yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. The years have been crazy and everyone could use a break.
Agree. Lexis? Stop the hate and anger. It's time to bring back love and peace. I see what you did there, Lexis. To all you mortals, have the day that you deserve. See ya.